Hi, welcome to episode 3 of I Follow Roads. I'm Dr. Cyrus Thomas. Today's episode is about, can you land on a road? We're trying to improve the fatality rate. So how do you land on a road if you are following roads like me and something goes terribly wrong? So, okay, you're flying over a road and one of these things happens. You get sick. You are incapacitated and can barely fly. Your chest hurts and you feel faint. Well, if it's a heart issue, I quickly take the little bottle that is right beside me in my flying caddy, filled with 4 aspirin that have been powderized. I dump the powder in a bottle of water and drink it immediately. Supposedly that will allow 96% of heart attacks to survive due to the vasodilatory action of the aspirin, expanding the arteries that bring fresh blood. Or what if you're having explosive diarrhea? I know that's too much information. Or what if you begin vomiting and it just won't stop? Well, you better get down and you better do it now. What if your engine fails? Oh, you don't think they do? Mike Patey, if I may be so bold as to paraphrase him, said, "Don't think it won't happen to you, that something will go wrong. Figure that it will." This way, you'll be better prepared. No engine, you're coming down. Thank God there is a road below. We will deal with the moral dilemma of the possibility of hurting someone on the road later in the show. What if the weather closes in around you and you're not comfortable flying out of it in instrument meteorological conditions? So then you have to lower the nose to get under the clouds. But what is under the cloud bases? And how far down do they go? The only good scenario is if you know there is a road there once you break out. There's a plane going overhead. So land on the road and live to tell the tale. What if you've just recently taken off and because you knew it was a hot day and had concerns about density altitude, you made a quick study of the roads around the airport in case you needed one. Soon after liftoff, it was evident you weren't flying well, but you had run out of airport and trees in the distance were looming. You didn't know if you would be able to clear them, and you had not reached your magic altitude of being able to make the impossible turn back to the runway. So you know you are in big trouble. You look and there's the road you thought would be there because you saw it on the map that you looked at before takeoff. Set her down now on the road. Don't try to clear the trees ahead. What about Juliet and Tango, who made a number of good YouTube shows? They might have had this outcome, landing on a road, if they were over a road. Instead, they landed in the trees. Now, we don't know what happened exactly, but it was likely a density altitude issue in a Cessna 140 up at elevation in northern Arizona. They will be missed. A bird just flew through your windshield. There is no airport within your glide circle on ForeFlight. You could continue to the next airport, and maybe you should, but your knees are shaking badly and you're having a mild panic attack. Well, set her down on the road that you're following. It's just no big deal. You realize you turned up a box canyon and there's no way out. You might consider a canyon turn, but you haven't practiced one in 10 years. But because you always follow roads, there must have been one below you. Otherwise, you would not have turned that way because you would have seen the road and then made the turn. The road will be windy, but it's better than CFIT, controlled flight into terrain. Or you ran out of gas. Oh darn. Set her down. Not to worry. Paul Bertorelli explained to us on YouTube that the closure rate of a plane to a car, if landing against the traffic, is terrible. It is way better landing with the traffic. Chances are your propeller will not be producing power, so the idea of the prop being the thing that will harm somebody is unlikely. However, it has happened. If you're descending to a road, you may have a service road off to the side of the main road. We'll let this plane go by here. If you're descending to a road, you may have a service road off to the side of the main road. You may have a farm on either side of the road. If you suspect, based on how congested the road or the highway is, that you might cause someone harm, you must land on the farm or service road, or on the median if it's big enough. If you decide to land on the road, shut your engine off, if it isn't already, the moment you enter level flight over the road. Just because we are in a desperate situation doesn't mean we have the right to risk the safety of others, especially with our propellers. And twins should forget about roads unless they can see that there are no cars on it. They just come down too fast. A plane is a lightweight structure, and they crumple easily. So even if you strike another car or truck, chances are you will be totaled and not them. I heard a prominent Bay Area flight instructor flying over Oakland at night, not much traffic on the roads, saying that in an engine out, he would go for a soccer field, a baseball field, or a large parking lot, rather than risk hurting anyone on the road. I am not of the same opinion, and I've asked many pilots who agree. But you have to make your own decision with whether you believe, vroom, vroom, with whether you believe you have the right to land on the road. It's legal, but still, aviation has a moral obligation to not be a menace to society. And if more people begin landing on roads and more people in cars begin getting injured, we will see laws appear restricting airplanes' landing rights. Leave your comments below. However, take off your goody two-shoes before you begin typing. In other words, imagine how scared you are sitting in the pilot seat about to make an off-airport landing while you are gliding. When approaching a road's landing zone, heads up for wires crossing the road. The pattern of telephone poles you should see. Look for fences next to the sides of the road, street signs, any bridges crossing the road. Hopefully you had enough time to choose a straight section of the road, but come in 10 to 15 knots fast so that you have options. If you are at minimum glide speed, you have no option other than to land on one spot on the road. You can't alter that spot unless you lower the nose and gain speed right before flaring in order to find a gap between cars. So at minimum glide, you can choose a spot straight ahead or one before it, but not one further ahead. But if you have extra speed, you can land further down, straight ahead, or closer by. By nosing over a few cars, you can glide over a few cars, and as they see you pass overhead, they will begin to slow down, and then as your speed bleeds off and you settle into the road, the cars behind you will have been alerted to your presence. It's just safer that way. And if you have too much speed and you are gaining on the car or truck ahead of you, slip it in, and at your low speed, it will bleed off quickly, and you may avoid striking the vehicle in front of you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cyrus Thomas, signing off.